Hello friends, today I am going to let you know how you can do debugging in an IDE. There are multiple IDEs, but they mostly have the same options to debug the test case. Okay, but today I am going to teach you the main features that you can use and make the debugging simple. Okay, suppose this is a test case. In this test case, I am using a method read Excel, which reads the data from an Excel. And I want to check inside this method. So what I will do first, I have to put a debugger. How we can put the debugger? Not inside the editor field, editor area. Outside the editor area, I have to just click. So once you click, you will see there is a red icon, or you can say a red dot. This red dot shows that there is a debugger point. Like this, you can put many debugger points in your editor. So how you will run this test case? So you will not run the test case as simple as you run it. Okay, you have to just right click on it. There is an option to debug. So once you click on the debug, your your test case will stop executing on this line of code where you have put the debugger. This is the one thing. Okay, now when your debugger will stop, your line of execution will stop, there is some options will come up in front of you. There are many options. You do not need to worry or to understand all the options, because only few options are important to understand. Then they are enough to debug. So one thing is, the first one is this one, step into. You can see from the icon, it's mean you are moving something inside, somewhere inside the uh, test case or functionality or whatever. You're moving inside. So once you click on this step into, what happened? You will move inside this method. Okay. Okay. So once you step, so and one more thing, this step into functionality will work only where there is something inside it. If you are putting this step into on a variable, this functionality will not work. This will work only for a method or somewhere there is something inside it. Okay, to check. So once I click on it, I move inside the read Excel. Now there is another functionality, step over. Step over means one line by line. So line by line, I can check what data. So where my execution is stopping, that's mean this line of code is not executed yet. Okay, it doesn't mean it's executed. If you are able to whatever your execution is focusing right now, that's mean this line of execution is not executed yet, but only it will see whatever variable is you are using inside that line of code. If this variable have any data, that you can see in this. Okay, now line by line. Okay, I check whatever I want to check. Suppose I want to check the file path. Now I can check, okay, this is the correct file path I am getting on this method. Okay, that is what I want to check, and I want to come out of this method read Excel. In that case, there is a method step out. When I click on the step out, I will come out. The whole execution will be done for this read Excel one, not one by one, like by the your compiler, but it will not. It will come out the read Excel method. What is this force step into? Force step into is not very useful, but yeah, you should know. This is like when you have a this in the IDE, there are some methods which IDE try to avoid it because they are the external methods. Okay, and still you want to know, still you want to check inside those methods that uses the external like library or whatever, and then you can use force step into and you can check inside those methods, but it is not very useful. This is enough for it. Okay, they both do the same functionality, but this is forcefully, red one is the forcefully. Now let me click on the step out. I want to move out of this method. Let's see what happens. See, I come out of this method. This is step out, and I want to complete my execution because there is no debugger yet, any more debugger, so it will, my execution will not stop anywhere else, and I want to complete my test case. Now I can resume the program. See, test case is passed. Now in the console, you can see you get the data, whatever inside uh, the test case. Okay, like this you can use it. Okay. Now, let me tell you another functionality for debugging, which is very useful for debugging. Okay, this is a test case. In this test case, I am using a data provider. This data provider is same. It is fetching a data from an Excel sheet. Okay. And first it will is fetching the data from Excel sheet and storing in a data variable, which is a two-dimensional variable. Okay, but before passing this the data into this method, I want to know what this data is storing. Okay, so I will put the debugger here. Okay, now I will run it. See, now my execution stop on this line of code. Okay, so but I know I know one thing. Okay, if I will run this line of code, I will get an error, but I want to check what this line of code is getting the data. Okay, without execution, I don't want to execute this line of code. I know if I will execute this line of code, I will get the error, my test case will fail, but I want to know without execution what I will do. Okay, there is a this method is getting the data from the Excel sheet. Okay, so what I will do, I will click on this, I will do right click, I will do the evaluate expression. So once you click on the evaluate expression, you will click on evaluate, and it will show the data whatever is it will fetch from the Excel sheet. So without execution, this line of code, you can get the data, you can see the data, you can analyze the data, what data it is going to find out. Okay, and this data is going to store in the data. So see what is the beauty of this evaluate expression. Without execution, we can see the data, we can verify the data, we can check the data. See, if I move my mouse over this data, see nothing is coming. When I do the step over and I will mouse over it, let me check. Think yeah, you can see this data variable has some data. Now you can see. So this shows that this line of code is executed now. So with that evaluate expression is like when you do not execute anything. See, now I move my mouse over there, it is showing something. Previously I was moving my mouse, there was nothing. So without execution we can check. So see, now I can show you one thing. If I click on, now I know this line of execution has already executed. If I click on it, I will do the evaluate expression. See, still you can check, right? So evaluate expression is very helpful. Without execution, you can check whatever what method is written. Okay, this is also very useful for debugging. Hope this will help you, and you can comment your comments in your comment section. I will try to respond to you as soon as possible. And that's all for debugging, and this is enough. If you have that much expertise or that much knowledge of debugging, you can debug any line of code. Okay, thank you.